Hi, I'm Nate and you're watching Photolearningism. If this is your first time joining the channel, welcome. We do a lot of effort to build a community here of learning, highlighting open source, cheap or free tools that will enhance your ability to work on photos and, in tonight's case, videos. I found an open source video editor called OpenShot, which I'm very excited to get to and show you what that has capabilities to do. Let's get to it. All right, so OpenShot. So this is version 2.4.4, which is a fairly recent release in the last month or two. They may have a newer version, but again, this is fairly new and it's very stable. My computer is not new. It is 5 or 6 years old and it handles this software very well. It might get slow at points, but it will handle it and it won't crash. So it's a good tool for that. Loading into the tool, it's the layout you'd expect, or at least what I would expect. I've done video editing as far back as Adobe Premiere 5.1, and well, that can tell you how old I am. I won't give you a number, but that's where I come from. So this is a similar layout to that. If you use Premiere, then this should be very intuitive for you. Under Project Files, that's where you load in all of your media. Right-click, click Import Files. And this is very versatile. I've tried a number of different formats. I've tried FLVs, MP4s, various codecs of those things. I can't stump this program. It's very well built and very friendly to a lot of different formats, and that's on the video and audio spectrum, so it's really cool. You select the thing that you want, or things. You can do more than one. Bulk load them in. And the timeline editor down here is actually really cool in that it does not distinguish between audio and video. What I mean by that is you can drag video down here, you can drag an audio track right alongside that. Really, it doesn't give you the audio editing plane or the video editing plane. It's all kind of mixed in here, so you can put things where you want, which is a really nice touch. Editing is very intuitive. You drag in or out from the sides, you bring the slider, you can slice from within. Again, very intuitive, very much like Premiere if you use a Premiere again. I'll give a demonstration here of layering. The transitions, again, are very self-explanatory, very intuitive. Those get dragged in and layered on top. And typically, on the end, you have to reverse it because it assumes that you're fading in for some reason, but it does work as long as you're used to that. So you can see that transition take place as it goes, and it does go in real time, which means it's rendering to memory. It can get a little bit intensive, but it works really well. It really gives you the ability to see what you're getting into right as you do it. So that's really cool. Audio editing is very similar. You have the same control where you can right-click it and get your options right on the clip. You can adjust the speed of it. You can do a whole kinds of stuff, which I'll let you play around with. I won't cover it all to bore you with the details, but just take a dig through and find it out. Another really, really cool feature here that I noticed is an animated title. And what makes this so cool is that it relies on the Blender rendering engine. And that's neat. You have to, of course, go and get the Blender piece of it separately. That's a little a side piece. But again, open source, free, and you get this nifty little integration piece that you can create animated titles based on the scripting piece of Blender. That's really cool. You can type in your own text, and you can get these really neat kind of 3D-esque, lightly rendered titles, which have layer transparency to them, which means that you can put them on top of things and integrate them on top of your video, and it ends up looking pretty decent. It's not going to look like a $1,000 piece, but it definitely adds something when you use it, and it gets you further than nothing. I'll say that, and I don't want to make it sound like it's a bad thing. It actually is really cool. But I also just want to highlight that it does have limitations, and that can only go so far. So remember that these are free tools. They're developed by people who do not get paid. So just the fact that this is available and they keep maintaining them is very generous of them, and I want to recognize those developers by making good use of their tool, by promoting their tool to you, and hoping that you'll share that and help me bring these up to the surface so that they can get the recognition they deserve from making such excellent tools. So those are really the high points of this tool. I will include a download link in the description for this. Again, it's called OpenShot. And there are many more pieces of this in the fine controls about adding in fades and doing different effects, and those just get a little lost in the weeds. But it can support that, and it can do that. There are other effects that you can get into, which can enhance the video. Again, they don't go too deep, but you do have some basic keyframing and control with those, which is much more than the average free video tool that you'll get. Even having the timeline editing interface is like impossible to find in a lot of free editors. That's not to say that DaVinci doesn't have it. DaVinci will come in a later video. We'll get to that. But for today, I really wanted to stick with this OpenShot tool because it was such a nice tool for me to work with. The final point I'll make is that as you export video, again, it does maintain the HD quality, and you can keep it in the format or augment the format coming out of it, which is, again, super helpful. So what a great free tool, right? So I really hope that helps you out and brings you to a place where you can enhance your video editing capability. If you were looking for a tool, I hope this is a good fit for you to get you started. If this is, again, your first time, I'm Nate Ciraulo. This is Photolearningism. Come connect with me on YouTube. Please subscribe to support the channel and give me a thumbs up. That really helps us out a ton to get things going and can produce content for you for free. I do also have other social connections. Find me at nateciraulo.com. Come visit me at Patreon. I would love your support. Don't feel pressured into doing that, but I do offer behind-the-scenes video and some additional information on my demos and walkthroughs, my other videos where it's just kind of a time lapse. I'm going to be creating behind-the-scenes videos which are exclusive to Patreon supporters, explaining actually how those break down. So check that out if you're open to it. If not, again, no pressure. I'm just so thrilled that you watched this video, and please come back and continue to follow me. Thank you so much. Take care.